Welcome to Comadres y Comics. Comadres y Comics is a podcast hosted by 3 Latina women.
We highlight the Latinx presence in the comic book industry as creators, characters, and fans.
Join us as we talk chisme, comics, fandom, and beer. Hello and welcome to an episode of Comadres y Comics. This is episode 261. We are your hosts. I'm Sarah.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Jen.
Welcome back, ladies. We're on a roll. I'm so excited.
Hi.
Yes. It's been going well. I'm very excited. I hate the heat. Let's move on.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Now it's time for Chisme de la Semana. And today I have some chisme. It's not juicy. It's kind of sad, actually. I'm really upset over this. It turns out that My Primos Podcast social media platforms were hacked. And
oh, wow.
Yes. So they hacked the Facebook and the Instagram. And the people or persons who took it over said they're trying to extort. So they put out a statement that says, "We do not negotiate with terrorists, primos. We are being ransomed. We are being ransomed. Someone out there is trying to get money out of us to release our account back to us. Please do not engage if they reach out to you asking for anything. They threaten with reaching out to all our contacts via Facebook or Instagram and try to ask for money or other things. So please just don't engage with this account right now until further notice. Thanks everybody for helping and stay tuned for more." So yes, guys, it's like, what the fuck? You're ransoming but it sucks because they had so many followers, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. And that's just really awful news.
It's a lot of work to build all that up. I mean, Eddie, he didn't get ransomed, but he got something happened. His account got reported. His Facebook account, unfortunately, every Instagram account that was connected to that got taken away, and he has been building that audience for 10 plus years, and it's all just gone. And he couldn't reach anybody at Facebook, couldn't reach anybody anywhere. Our Santa Monica Comics Company Instagram is gone because it was connected to him. And it's really a big pain in the butt because that podcast spent so many years building up their community and their audience, and to just lose it all it's a big hit to a podcast and to any kind of creator,
especially independent creators. I mean, that's gotta hurt so bad because you've built these kind of bridges with people who you've hit their algorithm and
you built this community by hand.
Exactly. And
word of mouth.
And for them to just now be threatened, like, give us money so we can give you back your account. I mean, come on, that's so terrible. You know what? You're a trash person out there who's ever doing this, and please don't do it to us, please. Just please don't. I can't, man. I don't know how. No, I'm just
saying they could be doing something much more useful with their time, like extorting the U.S. government,
right?
In Minecraft.
Yes, absolutely agree. But so that's what's going on. That's the chisme. Hope to hear some better news as the time goes on. But as of right now, they put out information on another account that you can follow them on. But that's the chisme. That's the skinny. Pobrecito nuestros primos at My Primos Podcast. We're there with you, and we feel your pain.
Hopefully you get your account back.
All right, guys, now it's time for On My Radar. Kristen, what is on your radar?
So on my radar is a single issue that is going to be the first issue of a limited series coming out on September 24th, and it is the Twilight Zone. If you are a fan If you are a fan of the original Twilight Zone black and white TV show, then this comic will be for you. They is IDW, and I didn't know this, but finding out information about this Twilight Zone book, I found out that IDW has a new horror imprint called IDW Dark. So it's going to be published under that new horror imprint, and it's going to be a 5-issue limited series inspired by Rod Serling's legendary TV show. It's going to be everything fans of the original have been waiting for. I don't know if Twilight Zone has come out, or if anybody has come out with any Twilight Zone comics in the past. I want to say that it sounds like they have. Like, my mind, I'm like, oh, I've seen one, but I could just be making that up. Who knows?
No, I think you're right. I think there was a Twilight Zone limited series that was also done by IDW, but I want to say this was now like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and it was really good. It won a lot of acclaim. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay,
I
well,
have
while you're looking,
some chisme about the Twilight Zone too.
really?
I am following this TikTok person who narrates the episodes of the Twilight Zone. She's so I can't think of her name right now, but because of her, I learned that the Twilight Zone became or was birthed because of Emmett Till's death. And the way that happened was Rod Serling wanted to tell kind of a story kind of similar to what happened to Emmett Till, and nobody would let him produce that episode, or it wouldn't release anywhere in not only the Twilight Zone but different other areas. So he switched it to tell the story but in a sci-fi manner, and that's how the Twilight Zone was born.
Interesting. That is very good. Cheesemeh. So, the reason they say that this is going to be everything that fans of the original are looking for, it's because the stories in these comics are going to be told in black and white, just like the old episodes. And each issue is going to be a standalone story, just like the TV show. So, says that there's going to be mind-bending tales with unmistakable mix of mystery, morality, and dread. So the debut issue is going to be titled Blanks, and it comes from the writer Dan Waters, who wrote Batman Dark Patterns, and the artist is going to be Morgan Beam, who was the artist on Swamp Thing Twin Branches. Plot details are under wraps, but the creepy cover art hints at a world filled with blank faces. Slender Man like beans. Waters says the goal is to channel the unsettled space between angry and unnerving, which, let's be honest, is the beating heart of the Twilight Zone. So that's just the first issue. We don't know who's going to be writing and drawing any of the other subsequent issues, but there is going to be some creators involved that we do know: Tom Scioli, James Stokoe, Nate Powell, and Francesco Francavilla, one of my favorite artists. And it says each is going to offer their own take on the show's signature twist ending formula. So go ahead and talk to your local comic shop. It is going to be coming out September 24th. So FOC is probably just right around the corner if it hasn't just passed. Let them know that you are interested. And it says, step through the door, but don't expect to come back the same.
Ooh, I like it. And on the cusp of the Halloweeny season.
Yes.
Did you find out about any other Twilight Zone imprints out there?
There was in 2013 Dynamite had the Twilight Zone ones.
Okay.
And it was being done by, this isn't the one that I can like remember for sure being it, but who was the creator? I think Straczynski was the one who was writing. Yeah, written by Michael Straczynski and art by Guy Villanova, with cover by Francisco Francavilla.
Nice.
Yep.
Cool. All All right, guys, now it's time for our book review. What are we reviewing today, ladies?
Today, we are reviewing Weirdo by Tony Weaver Jr. And Jess and Sin Wibowo. I hope I'm saying that right.
Wibowo.
Wibowo.
Wibowo. It just is fun to say. Even if we're saying it wrong, it's fun to say.
Yeah, sorry. So, yes, written by Tony Weaver Jr. and art by Jess and Sin Wibowo.
Check it out. Mine is signed.
Ooh.
Wow.
By Tony Weaver.
Stay weird.
Stay weird. I love it. I'm so excited. I was so just jazzed to meet him. Can you give us the synopsis of the story, Jen?
Yes, so I'm just going to read the back matter right here. Through bravery and the power of friendship, a new hero is born. 11-year-old Tony Weaver Jr. loves comic books, anime, and video games, and idolizes the heroic, larger-than-life characters he finds in them. But his new classmates all think he's a weirdo. Bullied by his peers, Tony struggles with the hurt of not being accepted and tries to conform to other people's expectations. After a traumatic event shakes him to his core, he embarks on a journey of self-love that will require him to become the hero of his own story. All right, you guys. I cried. I was reading this on my way back from work, and I don't know what I was expecting because I didn't read the back matter. I saw it and I was just like, oh, probably a tween coming of age graphic novel, which it is. It is a tween coming of age graphic novel, but tell me why I was like 1/3 of the way through it and I was tears. Like, I was trying not to sob so that people wouldn't hear me and be like, what the fuck is wrong with her on the fucking train? But I was like, I could not stop the tears from flowing. I was just like, I need to close this book for 5 minutes so I can get myself back under control. Because it deals with some very heavy stuff. And it's, it is 100% like a coming of age book. It's very heartfelt, but I also think it is very necessary because the what is it the not even the teen but the tween teen young adult suicide rate is not going down. It's only getting worse. And this is what this I guess trigger warning for suicide mention and stuff like that, but this it does not show it. It said it does say it outright, but it doesn't show how he did it or how he attempted it. But 11-year-old Tony Weaver Jr. tried to take his own life. And it is a major plot point in this. It's overarching and it's pretty early on in the story too. I think that I don't feel like I'm giving away big spoilers about it, but it made me so incredibly sad, but at the same time as I was reading it, I was just yeah, I remember feeling like that. I think it was in a previous episode that dealt with suicide as well.
This is where I disappear.
This is where I disappear. That the first time I ever really felt thought or felt about killing myself was when I was around 12 years old, which crazy to think about, because I think about the 11 or 12-year-olds that not that because I really don't know anymore. I don't teach Pokemon anymore, but that I see passing by on the streets, or when when you think about a middle schooler, when you really think about a middle schooler, and them trying to kill themselves, that's fucking depressing. You're just you're 12. You should be doing fart jokes and playing Minecraft or something. It's they shouldn't be thinking about these things. But at the same time, I'm also very familiar with it, and I know at that time my problems weren't serious, but they felt serious. They felt world-endingly serious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes because you don't have this experience, or because you feel so isolated that you don't know where to go, that you feel like a burden to your loved ones, that you can't see the love that's surrounding you, that the easiest answer is to just opt out. That is, and it's incredible how much media there is that kind of supports this, or that is kind of not a glorification of suicide, but this is what will happen. And for some people, that's acceptable. They'll be like, oh, okay, like this is how they'll like miss me, but they'll get over it because in this thing they got over it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So some very heavy topics, but at the same time, as I was like reading it, there was incredible moments where I was like, there was the allusion to like Inuyasha and stuff like that, and anime, and it was really really touching and endearing for me because at the same time, there is this incredible nostalgia for that time for me, but at the same time, when I think about it, I'm just all like, wow, I wasn't really really happy as a child, which
Mm,
is incredibly depressing to think about.
yeah. Well, I definitely love this book as well. And I loved all the geeky stuff in it for sure. It like the
Yeah.
Inuyasha, the Pokemon, the Kamehameha, and the ink blots, which I thought was so funny. What is it called? The
Yeah.
Rorschach? Rorschach?
Rorschach, yeah.
Yes. I also want to take the time to let you guys know that this book was actually nominated for an Eisner Award for Best Publication for Kids category. So,
Hmm.
so that was really, 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 really cool to know as well. But I love the whole thing. The art was super amazing. You can see all the emotion and everything was just like really out there, and all the wonderful, beautiful melanin colors. All of them different. All of them, it was just really amazingly done. I really love the fact when he felt so depressed. You could see it in the book because it changed it from a colorful comic to like a not even a dark comic, but more like a very different hues of gray. And there was a lot of references to plants, which I thought was really cool because I love plants. And
Hmm.
yeah, that
There's
was
some
like really
gray.
really great. And then also just I think I think they really there was a real focus on how you feel when you're a kid, how
Hmm.
you feel like um, there's no help out there, there's no way that you can deal with it. Like you just try to just dull your light and just try to disappear. And I remember many a time where I just felt like I wanted to disappear. Like, oh my God, I wish I wasn't here. Nobody could see me because I'm embarrassed of myself. Like it was just like really, really bad. And you could
Hmm.
totally see that in the artwork and in the writing and everything. And I just thought, my God, like I also had moments when I felt like that, but I just love the hope that it arises in the story and how he finds his own little tribe of friends as well. And even though things don't go the way you want them to, there's still like a lot of learning and a lot of growing together that happens with these kids in this book. And not only these kids, but even the kids around them. And I thought that
Hmm.
was really great. It just was a really kind of a heroic story and a story full of hope and knowing that you're not alone. What did you think, Kristen?
So, um, as Jen said, as she read the back of the book, basically, um, all the other 11-year-olds and even upperclassmen all think that little 11-year-old Tony's a weirdo because he has a lot of what would be considered geeky and nerdy interests. So he likes to watch these superhero TV shows, and he likes to read comics, and he has toys that he brought to school, and when somebody saw him, they made fun of him, and
Hmm.
he gets picked on all the time also because he's pretty smart. And so when he answers all of the questions in class, people, other students, pick on him for that and throw wads of paper at him because the teacher is, always asking him, well, this particular teacher always asking him to answer the questions, or he's always raising his hand. Um, but one of the things that really stood out to me in this book is the way that the adults were also in a lot of the cases, bullies.
Hmm.
And I think that that is such an under recognized and underrated um, like case that happens with kids because
Hmm.
I work with a lot of kids in my professional career, And I was in my 20s when I first started working in counseling and with kids and going to high schools and junior highs. And so I was like 25 to 28, I would say, when I would be going on campus. Also, when I was much later, but this story is specifically when I was younger. And the way that I was treated when the people on campus, whether it be the security or teachers or yard duty or whoever they were, administrators, when they thought that I was a student, the utter freaking disrespect that I got, and how I would stand at an office counter for sometimes minutes, like 5 minutes. They're all sitting there at their desk ignoring me because they thought I was a student. And once they realized that I wasn't, and that I was an adult, and that I was there to provide after school programming, their demeanor just completely 180'd. And so, and the reason I was there is to actually do anger management classes with kids who had gotten into trouble. And I used to tell them, no fucking wonder you're so angry to be treated like that every day. And
Yeah.
once you're already like labeled as a troublemaker or as, you know, someone who's violent or whatever, that label sticks with you throughout your whole entire school career, and no one ever gives you a chance. And so in this story, we see instances of a teacher who accuses Tony of plagiarism and of not writing his own story. And that really made me so angry. Like, I'm reading the book and I wanted to punch this teacher through the pages. I was so angry. And the implication is that he isn't quote unquote smart enough because he's Black. And I just would get so frustrated in my classes that I would work with teens, because they would tell me similar stories about the way teachers would, to their freaking face, tell. I had one girl tell me that the teacher refused to give her a copy of the test that the whole entire rest of the class was taking that day, and told her, I'm not going to give you the test because why bother? You're too dumb to take it anyway. Imagine going to school and having an adult who is supposed to, a teacher who is supposed to be there to support you and to help you and to guide you, say that to you in front of the class. And so what happened? She got pissed. She got up, she threw her chair, and she walked out. And she got into trouble, and she had to go to this class with me, and she got suspended. And the teacher didn't have any repercussions. And that's just one of the multiple stories that I've heard about how teachers or people in positions of power over kids treat them. And so I can only imagine what it feels like if you're not only getting it from your peers, but you're getting it from the people who are supposed to be there to protect you and to help you. And honestly, in this case, his parents, his mom was a little bit kind of rough on him too.
Tell me why she was pissing me off. And like, it gets better, but at the same time, like, why did it have to take him trying to take his own life for her to change? Like, I would like it. I don't like it. Really, like, not annoyed me. It pissed me off. I was just so like, oh my God. And I know there's probably something cultural there as well that is like, for me, it's not really clicking. But I really know. But from what I do know is that, to me, I saw it as just like her trying to be like, man up, grow up, like you. But I'm just like, he's 11.
Yeah.
He's 11.
And I think
he doesn't need to man up.
I think a lot of it also came from the fact that it was well known to his parents that he was quote unquote gifted. He was in a gifted program in one of the schools that he went to. And and that they thought that he was just not applying himself, or he was not that it didn't matter to him, that he didn't take it as seriously as he should. But the truth of the matter was, and he explains it in the book, is that when he got negative feedback, when he was told that they thought that he wasn't smart enough to write the paper, or when his peers were making fun of him because he would answer all the questions, and he wanted to not get that negative attention, so he just stopped answering questions. He didn't, the next paper that was due, he didn't write it. And it was him trying to protect himself because no one else was doing it for him. And and so this book really is more impactful because we know that Tony is a real person. We know all this stuff actually really happened. And we know that he has dedicated his life to, I mean, if you don't follow him on social media, it's a great follow. He focuses a lot on geeky and nerdy culture, but he also focuses a lot on just kindness and being, there for your fellow person, and helping them through things. And it always makes me laugh because when he is chastising someone or something for happening, like there was a video I saw today, I don't know how old it was, but a girl, actually, she was a social media influencer, and she started getting bullied, and she also took her own life. And he mentions that he also I saw this video before I read this book, so I kind of knew it was coming in the book, but he said it also happened to me where I was bullied and it took me to a really dark place. But at the end of those videos where he's like, if you think that it's okay to tell someone to unalive themselves or to go into traffic or whatever, his big line is always, get you some therapy. Get yourself some therapy. He'll yell at the camera. But
go get some therapy. It's so cute.
But this book is very, very important. And he says in, I don't know if it was his foreword or his afterword, but he says that he hopes that it really just helps kids who are going through similar things and feeling these feelings of hopelessness, that he hopes that it helps them to realize that they're not alone. And in the story, his parents do come around, and again, like Jen said, why did it have to get to that point before they realized what was happening? But the fact that he was able to be transferred to a school where they really encouraged kids to be themselves and to lean into what their interests were, no matter, if it was there I really enjoyed the part where he became a member of the literature club, but it wasn't just like books. There were people in there who liked to act and read scripts. He liked comics. It was just a myriad of different ways you can enjoy literature. So he really found a home at this new school. And then you find out that it really did happen where they wanted to shut down this school. And I'm like, you know what? Kids just get the short end of the stick in every way, shape, or form. Like, this school was doing such good work and all of their funding got cut and they had to shut down. So very, very impactful, very important. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Sarah, for making us read it. And I'm so happy you got to meet him and you got it all on video.
Yes. I also wanted to mention in this book, there is a lot of social media use in the book. So that also shows a different and larger level of bullying that I didn't experience because there was, we all, when I was in school, we had pagers. So to just be tagged in a picture about talking crap about you and then everybody liking it, oh my god, that broke my heart. It was just terrible. I can't imagine kids going through that right now. It just must be so horrible.
It truly is. It's one of those like bullying things that I can't wrap my head around, because even me growing up, like internet, like there was still like a like not everybody has internet, so we're not gonna assign like stuff that has to do. Now everything is on the internet.
My
Like
mom gets so
and
mad.
and it's like it's so like at the one point if someone said something mean or like someone like said something on like their MySpace page, you could just log out.
Yep.
Like I'm just like you should just log out, bro. Like, but that's not how the world works now. It's
No.
like,
And
oh my god, yeah,
with texting, like you used to be able to get bullied and go home and be safe, but that's not the case anymore. They have direct access to you if you have a smartphone, and even if you don't, they all the rest of the people in school do, and so they're seeing this, and then it's gonna get back to you eventually. So social media and technology, smartphones, all that kind of stuff are just tools that bullies use to get to their target. And it is very upsetting to see adults get onto the social media platforms and be so incredibly, horribly mean to people.
yeah,
And the things that are said and just the threats of violence and just it's
yeah.
horrible.
And it's like, look, there is such a thing as digital decay, but posting on the internet is in a way still forever because you can trace it back. It can be brought back to life. Um, uh, and it's like it also there used to be a degree of separation, I think, between your online persona and your in real life persona, and I still valiantly hold to this, or at least like uh I don't post on the internet anything that I wouldn't say in real life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Or even like to this in some degree, like to me, I'm still talking to you guys, but I stand by what I say every
Yeah.
single time. So
Yeah.
and then even though it's going to be posted on later, I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, I do. Like, I will say this out loud in person. Um, uh, but everybody else, they just post whatever. I'm just like, you do realize this is a public platform.
Right.
And
Yeah.
if I don't want to be arguing with other people, I'm just not going to fucking post it. And there is something about like speaking out, of course, like when we like posting about ICE and stuff like that and like putting our like thoughts and views, but that's stuff that we can stand by and that we can like do. I'm not going to be like shit talking a specific person unless I'm going to like follow it up. And hey, look, I'm like I can fight, but I can't beat them all, okay? Like I know like I on like you know what? Bring back ass whoopings. Like when you're like if you like, oh my god, like some people need their ass beat. Like this isn't a like I'm for bullying. This is a, just like there are actions to there are consequences to your actions kind of thing. So some people just be running their mouths.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true.
One of the things that I'm so grateful for is not having read the book before I met Tony, because if I was already going to cry when I met him, when I purchased the book at the booth when he was signing, if I had read it beforehand, I would have been slobbering everywhere. It would have been over. Like, and then when you said this, and you know, it would have been bad. It would have been bad. I mean, honestly, 100%. In the way it's written, there's little captions about people and about their superpower, which I found really cute and charming. But
Yeah.
when he got his superpower, I had the biggest lump in my throat that I tried to swallow, I just started sobbing. And I'm trying not to sob right now, but I haven't felt a lump in my throat that big in like since I was in like high school. Like I haven't had that kind of emotion where like it just hit me from all sides. You know, it was just like really overwhelming. That lump really hurt. Like I was like, and then it was like, okay, just let it out, Sarah. Just let it out. Nobody's here. Just let it out. No. But yeah, no, it was like I I didn't start reading it till yesterday because I knew it was gonna make me feel some type of way, but I just was not prepared for the whole myriad roller coaster of emotions that I felt. And I like you said, Jen, this is a very necessary book, definitely. And I think, this is his first book, and it was a first graphic novel comic book, and it was nominated for an Eisner. That is freaking amazing. I can't wait what other stories he has
Incredible.
in store for us. So I'm really excited about that. And the art that accompanied this story was just super amazing. Like, I just really loved it. I really loved the whole thing. And then they had a little nod to Tuxedo Mask. I don't know. I just love the little Easter eggs here and there too. I thought that was really great. Even the little Sailor Moon pen, it was just, oh, it's just really great. But I just also really loved how even the kid who was kind of bullying him at the second school, even him, he was misunderstood, and we got to see that story develop. And so, like, it's just a really great book to also not only to help you know that you're not alone, and even if you get bullied, it does get better, but also not everything is as it seems. And if you take the time to have a conversation, you might find out something you didn't know, and it might create a different space for you. Okay, I'm getting too emotional, but anyway, it was a magnificent book. I loved the heck out of it, and I would definitely highly recommend this to absolutely everybody. Everybody, everybody. No matter if you're old and you recall your past in high school, if you're young and you're just starting school, I think it's a great book for everybody to read. Um, do you guys want to say anything else, or are we ready to rate the book?
I'm ready to rate it. I loved it.
Yeah.
What's our rating scale, Kristen? Oh, I'm sorry. Before you continue, I want to know if the Moon Man was based on David Bowie. That's all.
Okay, so we rate our books on a scale of 1 to 3 conchas. 3 conchas being the best because it is the most conchas Jen's mom ever let her eat in one sitting. And if the book is so good that it is off of the concha chart, we give it our own individualized rating. And I'll go ahead and get started. And I am going to give it the whole panaderia, as we talked about how relevant this book is, how amazing the story was. Even the character developments of many of the different characters in the book was very well done. And one of my favorite things that we didn't talk about is actually his relationship with his grandmother. It really struck a chord with me when he said, and unfortunately she had passed away in this story, and so we didn't actually see them interact in present day, but he recounts a lot of his interaction with her throughout his life. And one of the best things that really hit me is how he said that she said that the you don't have to be rich to have things, and the most important thing that you can give a person is your time. And he said that she would always sit with him to watch his cartoons, and she even watched them when he wasn't there, so she had something to talk to him about. That is amazing to me, and I think something that is an adult really showing up for a kid. And so it was a big story point and plot point because when he lost her, it really kind of took away that like person that he could go to for safety and support. So the whole panaderia for me, and I also look forward to any other books that Tony Weaver Jr. does in the future.
Yes, this is Sarah, and I'm going to give it the whole panaderia and a cup of champurrado and all the great awesomeness. Also wanted to touch a little bit on the grandmother kind of recap with Tony, where you knew that it was getting dark when he said in the story, "I wish I was there with you," with the grandma. And she had passed, so like at that point, we kind of see the turning point there, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like, wow, that was too deep. I'm like, that was too. Oh, that was harsh. Oh, it hurt me. But anyway, the whole panaderia for me and a cup of champurrado. This book is amazing. Check it out. What about you, Jen?
So I'm going to give it also the entire panaderia and a cup of champurrado. And you know what? Those those old school dark horse mangas of uh of like Fist of the North Star and all of them.
Oh, Lone Wolf and Cub. Oh,
Yeah, Lone Wolf and Cub, like the when they would reprint them as comics instead of like actual manga books. Yeah, I'm giving him all of those. And another thing that we didn't touch upon that I really really loved is the use of the color and the color gradient and how it reflects his state of mind. It goes from bright and colorful to these like really like more muted slash darker colors and stuff like that as the story progresses and whenever he's like feeling down. Wonderful, wonderful use of color, and I absolutely adored it. So the entire panaderia.
and that has been our book review. All right, guys, now it's time for En La Libreria. Jen, what do you have for us today?
So today I have The Childless, a 120-page comic book anthology, a graphic novel set in a dystopian world where children of separated parents are sacrificed in the name of family values.
Oh
Ooh.
my God. Well, from reading the last story, I mean, we've been sacrificing children for a while now.
Damn. Damn. What did Hoseo say? Eat your young? Anyways, this is being done by Devin R. Scott, a passionate comic book writer and editor, creator of Magni the Mighty, The Lion of Olympus, and other works, creating the best comics possible one day at a time. And we've shouted out a previous Kickstarter from him called Let Us In, an anthology by non-US creators, talking about non-US based artists and writers and their struggle to break into the comic book industry. And that was really, really good. I believe did we do an episode on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Wait, who is the person?
Devin R. Scott.
I thought it was Oscar Osario.
Well, the
Devin,
person who's doing the like Kickstarter. Yeah.
But the person who worked on the anthology are several people.
Yes.
Got it. Oscar's the person who sent it to us because
Yes.
he's contributing. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
From Oscar Osorio, creator of Don't Push the Red Button, comes The Childless.
Okay.
Yes. Because it's an anthology, so it's multiple creators.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just gonna read a synopsis of the campaign page. From Oscar Osorio, creator of Don't Push the Red Button, comes The Childless. I am a fan of discussing important stuff in my comic books, not on the I will tell you what to do side, that's up to you, but the why does stuff work like this side. For this particular project, why are we returning to a place of hate against minorities and immigrants? Why is society attempting to control women and people of color? When did rejection replace empathy? So I started thinking, like Doctor Strange, about possible futures for humankind. Some are bright while others are not. However, I ended up in one where, based on a low birth rate, corporations and governments started giving money in exchange for reproduction. And then, after 100 years of uncontrolled and irresponsible reproduction, comes a religious party that proposes a law to bring order to humankind. The children of separated parents will be sacrificed. Combining the social commentary of The Handmaid's Tale and the brutality of The Purge. This anthology aims to shed light on what seems an impossibly terrible future, making us realize that it may not be so far away from our present. To accomplish this, I've had the pleasure of working with 13 diverse creative teams from different countries, backgrounds, and orientations, bringing fresh and interesting points of view as we tackle stories from various genres and perspectives. I hope you have as much fun reading the project as we had creating it. And remember, all comics are political. Preach! Preach! That's the truth. Anyways, then it goes on to show previews of the comic books, the creators, and they have links to where you can follow them if any of the art or the stories interest you, or if you recognize somebody, as we know, Oscar. But the base pledge, well, you can always support without expecting a reward, but the base pledge starts at $12, where you get the digital edition of the 120-page comic for $12. And then there's a digital bundle, which is $18. So you can enjoy a collection of Voss comics, A Never Ending Adventure, Don't Push the Red Button, Let Us In, and The Childless in digital form. And then there is the standard edition, which you get the standard edition plus the digital edition. So this is the physical copy, and that is $28. And then there is the Father cover by Gonzalez, and that one is $35. And then there's different variant covers that range in price. There is a cameo tier, which is $150. You get the standard and digital editions and be drawn into one of the stories. And there's also a retailer tier that is exclusive for US local stores. You get 5 copies of the standard and 2 copies of each variant for a discounted price at $160. So this has a goal of $8,000. It is currently at 2,208 with 77 backers and 14 days to go. So definitely a very interesting anthology that I think is very, very creative. Slightly depressing, maybe a little bit, but you know what? F it. I think it's definitely in that kind of like sci-fi horror, like no speculative fiction horror tangent, which I'm all about. I love it.
Very
Nice. It
exciting.
sounds cool.
I'm actually the 77th backer.
Wow. Okay. Flex on us.
Well, I can't wait to get it. And I hope this campaign gets fully funded. So check it out, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Remember, the Childless on Kickstarter.
All right, guys. Now it's time for Juntos y Fuertes. Kristen, what do you have for us today?
Well, today I have something that you shared with us, and it ties in very nicely with the book that we read today because it is a campaign started, developed, and ran by Tony Weaver Jr. And basically, he is running a campaign to get books into the hands of kids. So in his campaign, he kind of shares some statistics about why this is so important. He said, did you know that kids are losing access to books? 35% of schools in the U.S. don't have librarians, and that makes so much sense to me with all the cuts that are being made federally, and also just locally. Schools, whenever they get funding cuts, things like the librarian and the school counselor get cut, and that is such a horrible thing for me on both sides. I mean, the library at school and in my town was such a safe haven for me, and the fact that there's no librarians probably means that it's just not open and accessible all the time like it would be otherwise. Also, the national organization that gives public libraries funding has had all their staff put on leave. So we all know that Trump cut I don't remember what the organization is called, but he cut the funding, and it has affected even big libraries that get funding like Santa Monica Public Library. And it is going to, if funding isn't able to be substituted in some other way, it's going to start affecting programs like Hoopla. And I don't remember what the other one is called, but there's multiple different online streaming services that libraries use that this funding cut is potentially going to affect. Important free initiatives like PBS Kids and the Ready to Learn program are dealing with major cuts and being outright shut down. Again, Trump cuts are affecting the public broadcasting network, and we just heard that a lot of those shows are picked up by Netflix. You're going to be able to watch Sesame Street on Netflix now. So, and new episodes. I read an article somewhere that said that they not only will you be able to see old episodes, but also new episodes. And then kid reading levels are the lowest they've ever been. Without access to books, many kids won't catch up. It's so important for kids to read. And in the book that we read today, also, I feel like it's just so important to highlight the fact that comics are such a safe haven for marginalized kids. And we hear the story all the time in the shop when people come in that the only thing that they had that was theirs that they found respite in is comic books. So this particular campaign is Tony Weaver asking the nerd community to help him to give books to kids who need them in schools across the country. He says nerds know more than anyone how life-changing books can be. Whether it's manga, comics, sci-fi novel, or even a Dungeons and Dragons manual, we all have a book that helped us become who we are. Please make a mandatory, not mandatory, yes,
Voluntary?
mandatory,
Actually,
monetary. Please make a monetary donation so the next generation can have that opportunity. We would win in a fight, every nerd in the United States or the youth literacy crisis. So basically how it works is if you give money to this campaign, at the end of the campaign, a reading list of books will be selected by a combination of donors, literacy education specialists, and most importantly, the kids. The books will be purchased in bulk from independent bookstores with all receipts made public online. The purchased books will be distributed to kids in under-resourced schools across the country. Tony will personally travel to each school where a donation is placed to make sure books are delivered and distributed. So in just 24 hours, they raised $10,000.
Hell yeah.
And yep, and they already are at 61,000. And their goal, this says 75, but I read in an article somewhere else that their goal is 100,000. So either way, the nerd and geek community has come together, has shown up, and as part of that community, Kumasi Comics is asking all of you as well to participate. And you can do so by going to donorbox.org. That's DONORBOX.org.
Mm-hmm. And don't get it twisted. We're donating as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we're here for. We're here to help each other out, to support each other, and most of all, to bring comic books to everyone. All right, guys, now it's time for saludos. And saludos goes out today. Full circle moment. If we had a drum roll, can we turn it on now? We don't. We lost our soundboard. Anyway,
we need to bring it back.
Bring back the soundboard. Actually, guys, saludos goes out today to My Primos Productions. My Primos Productions. That is the new social media for My Primos Podcast that was hacked, if you remember, from Chisme. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you were following, or even if you weren't following, go follow them now at My Primos Productions. That's MyPrimos Productions. I'm not going to spell that out. You guys are going to have to Google that. So anyways, go follow them, show them some love. We do not bow down to terrorists. So make sure your voice is known, that you're following them and that you're with them. And we're going to rebuild that fan community of theirs. And if you don't know them, go check out their podcast. It's really freaking awesome. They talk about a lot of cool stuff, a lot of geek culture, movies, comics, you name it. They talk about it. So check them out. Tell them we sent you. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of this episode. Where can they find us, Kristen?
You can find all you need to know about Comadres Comics Podcast at comadrescomics.com, where you have links to our Podcast and also to all of our social media platforms. You can also watch our podcast on YouTube at Kumasi Comics Podcast. And if you have anything you'd like to say, reach out, you have a question, if you have a book you'd like us to read and review, you can email us at comadresecomics@gmail.com. And please don't forget to rate and review.
And also subscribe.
And subscribe.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. We really always appreciate it. We wouldn't be here without you. And we just keep going on. And we really appreciate you taking an hour time at a time to spend with us via either on YouTube or on streaming platforms. So thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. We have been your hosts. I'm Sarah.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Jen.
Bye, guys.